In a world of civilians, fighters, aliens, action, adventure, comedy, and Saiyans. It's been over 30 years since the first episode of the Japanese version of Dragon Ball aired, and over 20 years since the release of the first episode of the English version of Dragon Ball Z. This is Queso Filmatronics, and welcome to Top 10 Life Lessons from Dragon Ball Z. For this, we'll be focusing on Dragon Ball Z, but occasionally referencing parts of Dragon Ball since the stories are connected. Now, I think for anyone that grew up watching Cartoon Network or anime in the 90s or early 2000s, Dragon Ball Z was the nostalgic bomb. Growing up, Dragon Ball Z is chock full of inspiring characters and memorable moments, and this video is going to run through the top lessons and inspiring things gained from following and growing up with the Dragon Ball Z franchise. To kick off, I think one of the things that every single person who has ever followed the Dragon Ball Z series can all learn is to never give up. Yup. In almost every single battle, even the ones where it's probably pretty clear that the hero is probably going to be no match for the enemy, the Z Warriors are always battling it out to the end. In many situations, it is going to be one's ability to learn to continuous grind through that will allow one to achieve incredibleness. See Goku when he faces off against Frieza, even after all of his friends and peers have been basically wiped out and defeated, yet somehow he's still able to channel and get the energy to be able to battle out and eventually become the first Super Saiyan. You're gonna run into many tough situations in life, but if you're not trying to fight them, and well, what else are you gonna do? Just sit there and do nothing? Dragon Ball Z teaches all of us to always persist, to grind through, and to work hard for our dreams. And with all this talk about hard work, this makes me think about the second life lesson that I picked up from following Dragon Ball Z all these years, and that is to stay healthy. I don't know about you, but when I see the Z fighters always charging up and running around miles and miles along Snake Way, training and then doing endless push-ups and then eating mountains of food, as a kid, this gave me the adrenaline and drive to push and want to be like my favorite Z fighter. Today, it's pretty clear that many kids and even adults are living pretty sedentary lifestyles. Dragon Ball Z could help to motivate and teach every single one of us to get off the couch and to live a much healthier lifestyle. And heck, I used to even work out to the Dragon Ball Z soundtrack.
No, I am programmed to destroy.
Life lesson number 3. Love can come out of nowhere. We spend a huge chunk of our life just chasing love, but one of the things that I've learned from my years of watching Dragon Ball Z, and I guess specifically from watching Krillin just randomly get kissed by a badass blonde girl, even after she took out and basically beat up all of his friends, which... damn, that's actually pretty romantic. The guy is bald and he's the shortest one on the team, but he sure has to have a lot of swag to be able to pull that off. I'm jealous. And added to that, when Chi-Chi and Goku fall in love after basically 5 minutes of meeting each other, and Vegeta acting like such a tough guy, and then suddenly getting called cute for it, like, damn, why can't that happen to me? But I guess in life, love really can just come out of nowhere when you least expect it.
Hey, why don't you drop the arrogant tough guy act and just relax, let it all go, take a vacation for goodness sake. Unwind a little and see what life has to offer you. You're actually kind of cute.
What? I'm not kind of... Shut up.
Life lesson number 4. Teamwork. Most of the battles that have been won in the series have always involved working together, and this reminds us how even in life when we're chasing success, while it is important to become self-reliant and stand on our own feet, very few people have ever really truly done it totally solo. Politicians need voters. Basketball and football players need teammates. Entrepreneurs need customers, and artists need collaborators. So similarly, it's only when you have Goku and Gohan right by each other's side are they able to team up and finally beat Cell, or Goku and Vegeta fusing into Vegito are they finally able to stand a chance against Super Buu. Well, before they got absorbed, of course, but I mean, you know what I mean. Or the entire Earth lending Goku their power in the glorious final fight against Kid Buu do victories happen.
Wait! Here we go!
With learning to have teamwork, life lesson number 5 is to have humility and be willing to make self-sacrifice. How many people do we know today in our lives who have that know-it-all personalities, those self-centered individual bastards, and maybe you're even one of them watching this right now, and sorry if you are, no hard feelings. But one of the things that I think Dragon Ball Z can teach each and every single one of us is the importance of being able to stay humble and being able to put others in front of you. We see this all the time. For instance, with Chaozu sacrificing self to taking out Nappa, Android 16 with Cell, who is personally one of my favorite androids, and even Vegeta when he tries to sacrifice himself to take off Majin Buu. For the sake of everyone on Earth, if more people would learn to put others in front of themselves first, imagine how great society would become. Even in friendship and relationships, when you meet that friend or significant other who is willing to sacrifice anything for you, does true friendship and true love happen.
What's Vegeta up to, Piccolo? He's crazy! He won't make it! That monster is gonna eat him alive!
For the first time, Vegeta is fighting for someone other than himself. Controlling his own fate.
Life lesson number 6. People can change. I'll admit, I've made many mistakes in my life, and I'm sure everyone has, but I'm also sure that especially if we're watching this as teens or young adults right now, every single one of us is probably a different person than who we were 5 or even 1 year ago. But how many times have we experienced or maybe even witnessed someone else being dismissed or looked upon because of their past, their actions, and it's especially true if that part of their past wasn't even controllable. You suck at sports. You can't do this or that. You used to be a drug dealer or an alcoholic, or you just flat out suck at whatever this is. We all make mistakes in life, but it's important to recognize that change can happen if more people could just accept it. The most badass people 3 years ago could suddenly become the nicest person today, and similarly, many of the untalented and low-ranked individuals who were once at the bottom of the chain could somehow just suddenly rise up to the top and grow up. Many of the heroes in this whole show started out as villains who changed, with probably the most notable one being Vegeta.
Is to kill people a bad thing?
Yes, it is a bad thing.
Then no more!
You're not gonna kill people anymore? And won't destroy any more cities? I did it! I got this guy to change his ways, and I didn't have to throw a punch or blow him up! Oh, Mr. Satan, you are truly the greatest!
Following the fact that people's personalities can change also comes life lesson number 7, which is that people's life situations can change as well. It's not just that the people can change, but when we have hope, oftentimes one can change the lifestyle and the situation that they're currently in it. We bring up Vegeta again because he came from a place where his whole planet was blown up by frickin' Frieza, but by the end of the show, he was able to turn himself and totally transform transform from some cocky, angry Saiyan who basically lost his entire planet to a loving father surrounded by friends, family, and a life with good intentions. Now that's inspirational.
You okay in there by yourself?
I'm fine, Mom. I can put on my own pants.
So why?
Why what?
Normally when I suggest a family trip, I get the trademark Vegeta scoff. So why'd you agree to come along with us this time?
Following that is life lesson number 8, which is the importance of having forgiveness. When we hold grudges on people, it only brings hard feelings into our life. Now, I can understand it'll probably vary from case to case, but think about all of the people that we know who may have had one minuscule screw up, maybe you did it or maybe someone else did it, and just because of that, they will be forever blacklisted by the other person. Vegeta started out as a villain, but even after totally destroying him in the Saiyan saga, Goku still has the heart to convince Krillin to allow Vegeta to escape. Frieza had a grudge after being defeated on Namek, and look where it ended up taking him. It's important to forgive because oftentimes your worst enemy may end up just growing up and turning out to become your best ally.
Well, anyway. Come on.
Yeah! Faster, faster! Jeez.
What's he doing?
Life lesson number 9 is that there is always a next step, and so it is to never stop learning. Have we ever ended up in a stuck situation where we don't know what to do? In Dragon Ball Z, we have ran into multiple cases of that situation. Yet in Dragon Ball Z, we are taught that even through times where we may have no clue what the heck that's going on, by living life, by moving forward almost like a canoe in a rapid river, we may end up lost, but somehow in most situations, there's a way. I also reference the people that once believed that once school is done, the learning stops. In Dragon Ball Z, the fighters are constantly pushing themselves to the limit. They never stop training, even when they're already as strong as they could possibly ever be. If we could all use this mentality in our life, to never stop learning, to always be hungry, and to keep an open mind about the next step, to improve our skills, and imagine where we could be.
Stop it now, Goku!
Life lesson number 10. Live up to the present moment and have fun, because time flies. What I love so much about the Dragon Ball Z series is that it is one of the few long span anime series where you're able to see almost every single character grow from their childlike selves to starting a family to having grandchildren and practically hitting retirement. Even in one of the longest playing shows like Pokemon, Ash is somehow always the same exact age even after all of those many seasons. Many of us watching this right now might even be grown up now, or even in her 20s, and I remember being a kid and running around playing Dragon Ball Z and pretending to be Goku as a kid. I remember pretending to be Trunks because we were both right around 8 years old, right around when the Boo Saga premiered in America, and oh my gosh, I am now in my 20s. Time sure does fly, doesn't it? People in real life are always often future-minded, which is good, but it's also important to know that because time's gonna fly so fast, make sure you're still living up and always learning to enjoy every single minute. This is something that I learned from watching Goku grow up all those years, always having fun and knowing how to enjoy life and embrace the situation even when times might be getting hard. You're only a child once. You're only a teenager once. You are only an adult once. And you only live once. So make sure that you're always remembering to embrace every single moment and to really learn to have fun and live up to the present moment. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching this. I hope this video wasn't too long. This is my first video on this channel, so I would love having any kind of suggestions, recommendations, comments, likes, dislikes. I put this all together because this was kind of an idea for me to get a little bit nostalgic. But if you guys like this, well, I would appreciate a like or subscription. Or if not, I'd love to hear your comments about what we could do to improve next time. And well, if you made it this far, once again, thank you so much for watching this, and until next time.
I'll be waiting for you, Majin Buu!